Whiskey 9, Victor, Echo, Tango.
Whiskey 9, Victor, Echo, Tango.
QSL, this is Scott, located in Fort Payne, Alabama.
Roger, Doc in Alabama. And Doc, what radio are you running today, sir?
The name is Scott, Sierra Charlie Oscar, Tango, Tango, and I'm on an ICOM 781.
Okay, ICOM 781. Is that a newer radio or an older radio, sir?
Oh, it's an older radio. It's about 1990, radio 89, 90 area.
Roger, Roger. How about frequency stability? Is it pretty stable, Roger? On say 20 meters?
Roger, it's perfectly stable.
Absolutely great. Well, that's unusual for an older radio because like Drake and those guys had great intentions, but they did have problems stabilizing their transmit oscillator. At least the receiver oscillator was a little closer, but the transmit oscillator, due to heat or cold or whatever it was, you could never find the right answer. If you tried to heat it up, it would drift. If you tried to cool it down, it would drift. So it would drift whatever you did.
Yeah, this was it's one of their solid state radios for the time. It's 150 watts, what it puts out. It was their flagship back in the early 80s, late 80s, early 90s. I'm also running it through late 80s, early 90s. I'm also running it through Ameritron AL.80 amplifier.
Roger that, Roger that. Well, I just found you again. I've got you on my local antenna, and I've got you on my Kentucky SDR, which is up around Cincinnati on the Kentucky side of the Ohio River, right at Cincinnati. So you're sounding good, Roger.
I got you about a 5.8. How's my signal strength there?
Roger, Roger. Well, I can't give you a normal S reading because I've got my front end backed off quite a bit in the receiver part, but I am running a VU meter on the output of my audio, and I can say that you're running about 8 dB over my noise level, Roger.
Roger. I'm also using a Heil IC microphone. It's the smaller version one. How does it sound audio-wise?
Roger, I think you could use a little more top end. I would say maybe 3 dB of push on your treble EQ, Roger.
Roger. Well, I do not have a EQ on this. Only thing I have is mic gain and well, no, I do have a treble here. Let me give this a shot. Hold on. All right, there's a little bit more treble. How does that sound?
Yeah, I think it gives you a little more articulation, and that's what it's all about. High frequencies accumulate up around the top end for articulation, and so I think you picked up a few more dB of articulation there, Roger.
Roger. One of the things that this radio has is it has a drive and a comp button. Drive is a knob and the comp is a button. Can you tell me a little bit about what that does?
Well, you tell me first, and I'll tell you. I have no idea. What are those buttons again?
The knob I have is a drive button, and it has a comp button. I'm assuming it's for compression.
Yes, sir. Okay, well, on the drive button, the only drive button I know about is on the 7610, and what it does, it tends to collapse the dynamic range of the audio signal. And that is to say that I think the average normal reading on that drive meter is 45 to 50%. And so if you wanted a fatter signal and move that down to like 2 dB or something like that, you could take that control and move it to 65, 70, and that would start really collapsing your dynamic range, your audio dynamic range, Roger?
Roger. I copy that. And the compression button, what is that? I've heard that will help me in a pile-up or something and try to get through it, but not very good for rag tube.
Yes, sir. Well, it could be just a compression on-off switch. More than likely, if there's no more information on it, I would say that switch is a compressor on-off switch. So, and what we advise is, and you should have a compression meter, and that would be that your compressor is on at a 3. And now you might say, well, gosh, a 3, that's pretty light. But the thing is, a lot of audio equipment you want to handle with a great deal of finesse, because if you come up there to an 8 on the compressor, you're going to get all kinds of suck-up between words, which is absolutely what you don't want, and makes some people pretty disturbed about hearing this between words. So a 3 is and under is about the only place that you're going to be able to set that compressor and not get swish between words, which is something that we don't want. Roger?
Roger. Well, I turned it on. Does it make any difference? Can you tell any difference in my audio?
Oh, yeah. It pumps up your audio drastically. And some would say too drastically. Somewhere you must have a compression meter that you can adjust the level going to the compressor. So the switch works, but you need to find the level so you can adjust the amount. Roger?
Roger. Well, let me adjst it here. Audio.
The band's fading, or he's turned it down too much.
Well, he was plus 20 when he come back with the compressor on, so that compressor was kicking butt.
Okay, there we go. How does that sound? Is that a little too much?
Beautiful.
Come back and give me, tell me about the best thing you like about your radio, and let me listen to that compressor.
One of the best things I like about this radio is it has an old CRT display, so they're pretty neat. If you look it up, it's got probably 30 buttons on it, or 40 buttons, and about 20 knobs and dials on it. It's not menu driven, so it's kind of neat. It harkens back to the older days of radio, and it's pretty easy to control. Over.
Yeah, Roger. Okay, so like I say, somewhere on that radio there is a volume control that drives your compressor. And I would suggest getting a hold of that audio control and turning it down so that you're not activating your compressor quite as much as you are. To me, it sounds a little overdriven, overcompressed. I would back off a little bit more. If you have that control.
Roger, I have that control, and I did turn it down about to it's a knob, and it goes from, I have it probably at about, I would say a 9 o'clock position right now.
Yes, sir. We'll pull that down to about a 3. That's what we recommend, is about a 3 on your compression level. And then we'll make up the rest in your ALC meter. Roger?
Roger. There, I got it turned down now, almost as low as it will go.
Okay, sir, then let's go to your ALC meter. And as you say the magic word audio, spoken as you would speak any other word in a QSO, not too loud, not too short, but just that's about the same level as you would conduct your QSOs. And adjust your mic volume control until your ALC meter is running 7 or 2/3. 7 or 2/3 on your ALC meter as you say the word audio and adjust your mic gain control.
Roger. Audio. 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 Well, that's too much there. Hold on. Audio. Audio. All right, that's it right there.
All right, so I'm thinking you might be just a tad hotter. What does your current mic level control say?
My current mic level control is about, it doesn't have numbers, it's just a dial. So if you look at an old dial, it's about at the 7 or 8 o'clock position.
Okay, let's go crazy and go for noon.
All right, there we go. There's 12 o'clock high.
I think we got them all shot down right there. Sounds really good. Now tell me about your radio and the thing you like best about your radio.
All right, the best thing I like about the radio is that it's big. It's a rack mount type radio. It was a back in the early 90s, late 80s. It was their flagship model. They're kind of easy to work on. I was able to replace the VFO on it pretty easily and got it up and running. But yeah, it's a good radio. It has an older look to it, kind of like a military style. It's just an all-around neat radio. Puts out 150 watts. I use it to drive my amplifier at about 65 watts, and that puts me out at about 1,000 on my Ameritron AL.80.
Roger, Roger. So it really sounds good now. I would, maybe if you get a chance, skosh up that top end, a couple of clicks. Do you have a frequency adjustment on your equalizer that you could give maybe 3.7 kilohertz on your treble control?
Okay, let me so you give me a little bit more treble, you say?
Yes, sir. If you can adjust your frequency of your treble boost to 3.7, that would be great. I can tell you the amount, but getting in there at 3.7 would be the trick. I got a little calibration dial for the frequency. Is that the one you're talking about? Yes, sir. If you can do 3.7 on your treble control, Roger, 3.7 kilohertz at your treble control.
All right. How does that sound? Any better?
Okay, now, and as long as we're shooting for the moon here, do you have a frequency width adjustment on that treble control?
That's a negative. No frequency width.
Okay, so let's do, what is the current push on that 3.7 treble control?
It's like I said, it's a dial, and I have it set to about 2 o'clock position. Okay,
and say we can hit 7? We can hit 7 o'clock, 7 p.m.?
Well, I can take it down to probably about a 5.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do that at a 5 or max. If you run more, that's fine, Roger.
All right, there's maximum right there. How does that sound?
Sounds really good, and you're at 3.7 kilohertz push on your treble control. Roger?
Roger, roger.
Okay, and do you have a 3-band EQ control for that radio?
No, it only has treble and bass I don't see anything else other than that.
Okay, I was just wondering because we recommend to keep that mid control flat, so you're just ideal for that situation since you don't have a control for that frequency. So that's great. And on the bottom side, what are your numbers on your bass EQ?
Like I said, it's a dial, so it's about at the 12 o'clock position right now, straight up.
All right. So let's try 9 a.m. 9 a.m. And if you can adjust the frequency of your bass control, we want that to be at 200 hertz. So that's on your bass control, 200 hertz minus 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock.
Roger. Okay, how does this sound? Any better?
Yes, sir. That forces your upper end to have a little more clarity. So why don't you tell me about your antenna system?
All right. The current antenna that I run right now is a G5RV. It's basically a pretty basic system. I have a RF choke on it, 1-to-1 balun, ran up through some ladder line, going to the top, and I just have 16 gauge wire, and I can't remember the exact feet, but it would be equivalent to a G5RV Mini. Over.
Roger that. Okay, so I would suggest now, since we've been around the horn on your EQ, that we go back to your ALC meter, and as you say the magic word audio, adjust your ALC meter for 7 or 2/3 by way of your mic level control. Roger?
Roger. I'll adjust the mic gain here. Let me do that. Audio. Audio. Right there.
All right, so give me some verbiage there for about 10 or 15 seconds, and let me see what it sounds like.
The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. This is Whiskey 9, Victor Echo Tango, Scott, Sierra Charlie Oscar Tango Tango in Fort Payne, Alabama.
Roger. Okay, so what does your current mic level control say, or what time does your current mic level control say it is?
All right, it's just about, I would say, about an 8 on the dial, on the clock. So it's pretty low.
Roger. Okay, so take it on up to 9 o'clock, and give me some more verbiage at 9 o'clock on your mic level control.
All right, this is Whiskey 9, Victor Echo Tango, Scott in Fort Payne, Alabama.
Roger. Scott, I'm looking at your audio on a VU meter that's tied to my output of the 7300. And I can tell by the way that it hangs that you're running right at 3 dB dynamic range. So I think you're right on schedule, Roger.
Roger. Yeah, it's... I've talked to you before, but it was with my old call sign. So are you going to be putting this on YouTube like you have your other conversations?
Yes, sir, with all things considered, hopefully. one can never be too sure when you hit a certain age.
No, I hear you. I had a friend send me an audio recording. He just, made a basic recording with it, and he sent it to me on my phone. And it was neat to kind of see how my voice sounds. And I did the same with him. He was on a Drake, and I was able to send it to him. But yeah, I appreciate what you're doing, and getting it out there so you can actually hear what you sound like. And this radio specifically, with this mic combination, I've gotten really good audio reports. People that actually know me, they said it's your voice. It sounds good. It sounds natural. So hopefully, when I come back with these adjusted audio settings, that it's even better. Over.
Roger, Roger. Well, we tried to work on that top end just a little bit more to extend out the treble aspects of that microphone, and I think 3.7 is a nice frequency if the mic has that ability to flow with those frequencies, because those are nice syllabic tones. If you get below that, it starts sounding like 2KC, very harsh kind of stuff. And if you get too far above that, then it starts sounding too mellow, and you can't really dig those transients of high frequency out. So 3.7 to me is the magic number. Roger?
Roger. Well, I will definitely keep that in mind. And thank you so much for picking me up. And you guys have yourself a fine rest of the day. Over. This is Whiskey 9 Victor Echo Tango.
Roger, Scott 73, sir. Thanks for dropping by. And if you get a chance, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog. Net my Elmer N9GTO is somewhere out there.